you. So my sister Claire and I grew up with the most strict and overprotective dad that you can imagine. I mean, when we were 15 and 16, he would drive us to the parties, and he would park his car outside the party, put on some Cuban music, and recline his car seat, and waited until we got out. That was ridiculous. Our social life was zero. So when we heard that this boys-only school was planning a 7-day camping trip, we were like, oh my God, this is going to be 7 days daddy-free. So we needed in. We begged our dad to let us go, and for some miracle of life, he said yes. So we were like, score. We went immediately to get ready for that trip. We went buying camping stuff. We started like this training program because we really didn't do anything else but watch TV. So we started our running routine. And the first day, we went around the botanical garden of our country, which was not very far from our home. And like 10 minutes into our run, more like pacing, we saw that the botanical garden fence was missing a bar, and we fit perfectly through it. So why not just run inside the garden? So we went inside, and it was a very isolated place. We were like the only people there. And we didn't think it was going to be a problem. I mean, better, we were going to be alone and we could do whatever we wanted. But then we hear this guy yelling, "Señorita, señorita, stop!" But I told my sister, no, let's keep walking, no, don't stop. But the guy came running and grabbed us and put himself in front of us and said, "Do you know you just broke the law? I'm a policeman and you're gonna have to come with me to the police department." I'm like, seriously? I mean, I'm seeing this guy wearing baggy jeans, a baggy black shirt with a skull printed on it, and a baseball hat. No way this guy is a policeman, not even the Dominican Republic. So, being the smartass that I am, I'm like, yeah, so show me your ID. The guy pulls his hand in his pocket and pulls out a gun and puts it on my forehead. I don't know until this day how I didn't pee in my pants. So he says, "This is my ID and you're gonna come with me." Fair enough. We go walking with him. Like every second that went by, I went scared to more scared, nervous to more nervous. And I'm thinking, my poor young sister must be dying. The guy is between my sister and I, so I kind of like bent over to see her face, like how is she handling this? My sister is like walking in the park with a friend, like nothing is happening. And I'm like, this is so typical of her. Like a building could explode next to her and she would say, "Oh, I guess that building is on fire." She really has an apartment in the moon, I swear. So that gives me, for some reason, puts me even more nervous, and I start shaking and crying and praying every Ave Maria that I know. And my sister, and at one point, I couldn't walk, so I just stood there. And my sister and the guy are like 3 feet away from me. The guy turns over and says like, "Why the fuck are you not moving?" I'm like, "Because I can't." My sister comes walking towards me and says, "Vanessa, I didn't know you were such a chicken." I wanted to kill her. But that word chicken got stuck in my head. And I'm like, "Vanessa Valerio, you are not a chicken." So I said, if you're gonna die, at least you're gonna die trying to leave. So I grabbed my stupid sister by her hand and started running away from the guy and yelling, "Oh, help me!" Finally, someone helped us and the guy was running the opposite direction. And the woman, for some reason, was exercising with one of these big, chunky, heavy Motorola cell phones. I mean, this was one of the first cell phones. And it was very heavy. I don't know why she was exercising with it, but thank God. I mean, I guess she was having a good day. So she calls the police, and the police immediately comes, like it was very fast, all happened very fast. And they grab the guy, then we all go to the police department. We see the guy being interrogated in the room, and my sister and I are sitting down with the police guy when the guy says, "You should call your parents." My sister and I look at each other like, we're fucked. So I grab the phone, and I start making up stuff in my head, like, what can I tell my dad so this doesn't sound that bad? Maybe we were just walking around and we saw this woman who needed help, and we stopped to help her, and long story short, we're at the police department. If you're available, please, we need a ride. If not, it's fine. We can just walk, it's fine. It was the greatest idea in my head. So I call him, getting ready to say my story. I hear my dad on the other line, and I'm like, "Daddy, this guy was gonna kill us!" My dad, I swear, probably came with Superman because we was there in 5 minutes, and he was like running and all clustered. When I see him, I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to cry, but cry laughing, because he was wearing flip-flops, khaki shorts, and no shirt. He came and hugged us and says like, "Where the fuck is that motherfucker?" The police is trying to calm him down. And my sister and I, being the two little bitches we are, we're like, there. So my dad goes running, like he's gonna kill this guy with his hands. And the police like grabbing him, and they can't because my dad is like, I don't know. And my dad wears glasses, and without his glasses, he cannot see. So his glasses were like flying up in the air and onto the floor and broke into pieces. That's the only moment they could grab him. So they took my dad to a little room, and I guess they talked him and calmed him down. So dad came out, and he's wearing his glasses like fixed with the blue tape between them. It was pretty funny. And so we all walk, my sister, my dad, and I go outside the police department and into the car. The second we get in the car, I mean, we knew we were in trouble, but we didn't know we were going to be in that deep trouble. So he started, "¿Qué carajo ustedes estaban pensando? Ustedes están volviendo loca. O sea, nadie pensó que esto era algo peligroso, ¿verdad?" And we know better than to answer anything or talk to my dad when he's angry. We know better than that, so we're like, and then he goes, "And that camping trip, forget about that camping trip because you're going nowhere." That moment, we started crying like if we were about to die. In our mind, it was more important to go to that camping trip than to actually be alive. Stupid teenagers.